Hey, it's Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is January 27th, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you for all watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post things there all week long. So if you're interested, just follow me right there. If you really like my information, I do run a subscriber group. It's $10 a month, really the best deal out there. You get all of this information, market videos, focus lists, midweek videos, market notes at least twice a week, as well as small notes, just whenever I feel like it. Throughout the week, basically, daily posts, scans, bonus content, all kinds of stuff. It's only $10 a month, worth a try, month to month. So there's nothing that you have to lock in. If you don't like it, you can just cancel, no big deal. And I won't tell you what to trade, but I will show you all the trades that I'm taking, and it's up to you whether you want to join in or not. So again, $10 a month. It's a great deal. Also this week, big earnings week. So just be aware that, Super Micro's in there, Microsoft, AMD, Alphabet. I'm just up and down. It's just huge. Apple, Amazon, Meta, Atlassian. I mean, just crazy this week. So be aware of that. Know your dates. All right, let's get into the markets. Starting with SPY, we have, again, this beautiful base. That's what this is. And prices broken out. And really this week, we went sideways to up, and we are right up against this trend line. So, you can expect maybe a little backing and filling. This was not the easiest trade unless you're in, the top, 15 or 20 names, right? NVIDIA, AMD, whatever. So it is what it is, but we're at the top of a trend line. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a little bit of backing and filling here, let the moving averages catch up, because they've had a nice run from January 19th on. So SPY looks absolutely fine. Nothing really to say too much on that on the week, because we like to measure things on the week. Up about 1%, just over 1% on the week. So let's see how the RSP did. RSP was up exactly the same. Wow. Okay. Um, and it's in this kind of general range, right above the breakout pivot. So that is actually, I think, really constructive too. RSP holding up. Now it's gone basically sideways. This is a better indication, I think, of how the market's really been. Equal weighted RSP, it's been since December 14th, kind of choppy, right? Up and down, just kind of choppy. It hasn't made a ton of progress. There's been some names, of course, but yeah, just been I think a little bit harder slog until we break out of this general area right here, right? I think it's going to continue to be, just a choppy trade now. All the moving averages are starting to catch up to it, so it's going to be make or break probably pretty soon. Looking at the Qs, looks very similar to the SPY, right there. You just kind of see the top of the trend line, even if you say it's like that, whatever. And again, I wouldn't be shocked if we see some backing and filling and let these moving averages start to catch up just a little bit. Again, very similar as far as the structure goes. Looking at the weekly, it was up 0.6 on the week, and the equal weighted Qs, which are right there, was up 0.48. So again, similar enough. Very similar. And you see that they have been doing much better than RSP has, right? Coming up maybe into a supply area right around 90 or so, but not quite there yet. Everything looks absolutely fine on this chart, on the weekly chart. Going to the daily chart, you can see how, this week has been just a little bit more choppier. And even from the December 14th, yeah, you've had some nice movements up, overall. But again, there's this big down right here. It's a very hard to hold through this little piece right here. It looks like things are about to fall apart. And now we have this, and maybe this 23-day EMA is what holds it again. We'll see. But again, just kind of letting the moving averages catch up. Nothing bearish about that chart though. Looking at the mid caps, again, this is more of an equal weighted chart, and you can see how, let's get this line out of here. It's just been kind of sideways, right? I mean, it's a nice little base. I like the higher lows overall. Um, there's your volume dry up happening over here. So this is gonna have to pick a decision pretty soon. Um, but it's right in that zone, this 500-ish area. That's the key one. That's right where the moving averages are basically now. Um, so yeah, and here comes the 50-day. Everything's catching up. Everything looks pretty good. 200 days rising. So mid caps are primed to move higher, right? And if they don't, that would be our expectation breaker. Let's see what they did on the week. 0.81 on the week. So again, but kind of an indecision type candle. And let's go to the IWM. This was up 1.79. So decent week, IWM, right into this, again, this 199, 200 area. That's been an issue for it. I mean, going back, years, it's been an issue for it. And, this falling wedge pattern was something that I was really thinking could take off. And, it just hasn't really taken off yet. It hasn't done bad, right? This is a winning trade for me, but it's kind of gone, dormant here. And we'll see if this next week, if it will continue higher and can finally break out of this big range, right? That's kind of like a false breakout right there. If you can break out of this false range, this long range, that'd be really bullish. All right, so let's go into the sectors. XLF, I mean, just continues to be a beast. I mean, looks really, really good. Uh, Insurance is really doing great with that too, the insurance sector, as well as a bunch of others, not just them. SMH, I mean, went basically parabolic for this period of time right here. So now it's coming back a little bit. It lost 2%. And again, there's a lot of gaps in here, right? I mean, we can say there's one there, one there that's closed now. So, um, yeah, I mean, these moving averages, they're way extended, and we'll see if we'll see where this kind of finds buyers again. Maybe 177, I don't know. Could be 177-ish, right? Right back to 23-day. Maybe it just closes, this gap around 180. We'll see. But again, very bullish look to it as long as it can stay above, most of those moving averages. On the week, I'm just wondering what did on the week. Yeah, you see, a candle that's very says there could be some more downside to come. Let's see, XLF on the week was up 1.86, and then let's go to XSD. So that one was actually down for the week and really hasn't broken out yet. Going back to the daily here, you can see how this area right here, we'll call it 228, 230. It just keeps bouncing up against it. Now, the more times an area is tested, the more likely it is to break. But I think the equal weighted S&P semiconductor index breaking out will start the next leg higher, and hopefully the small caps and mid caps will be part of that as well. Looking at the home builders, XHB, just kind of consolidating in a kind of loosey-goosey way right here. Looks very much like the RSP, I'm sorry, RSP, kind of back and forth since December 14th. And then you have the ITB, very similar, again, just kind of sideways, loosey chop. Transports IYT, still can't get over this trend line. We're watching again. Nothing's bearish here though. Everything's moving in the right direction. And then we have XTN, the equal weighted, and this one again in just a big range, right? So we've said that now a few times. I think we're getting to a point where this market's going to have to make a decision. I think February could be a big month if it moves the right way. So we'll see how that goes. VIX, you know, nice and low still, nothing to see here. That looks really good. Credit spreads get tightening up even more. Again, this is very, very constructive. Let's look at the call ratio, you know, right in the middle of the range. That's constructive in my book, kind of a bullish side of the chart. And I like the extreme bearishness there that we saw earlier this month. And then let's go into percent of stocks above the 50-day. So this is the one that, got overheated, which we talked about. Got overheated, but every time it's gotten overheated, it's actually come back quite a bit. And let's just kind of zoom in just a little bit here so we can see that. Came back to 20s to 30s, right? Almost every time. Well, it hasn't done that this time. So that's the only thing, I would have liked to see a little bit like one more leg down into this area. It may still happen. Maybe it's this week. I don't know. But this getting down to that 20 to 30 area is a place where we've seen bottoms usually happen from these overbought conditions, right? Almost every time it eventually gets down there. So we haven't seen it yet. Maybe this has one more leg down, right? Went from 86 to a low of 57, 56, 57. And now if we can get to, 30-ish, that'd be interesting. 25, 30, something like that. So not that, this is a secondary indicator, not really like trading off of this, but I just know that there's a possibility we could get that one more shakeout. Basically is what that would be. It'd be a shakeout before we move back higher again. Next up will be the dollar. Let's talk about the dollar. The dollar, what would the shakeout look like? It'd probably be the dollar jumping to maybe 104, 104.20-ish. And then the next leg higher would be the dollar coming off those highs. That's what I mean. It would fit. We'll see if it happens. Don't know. But it's still consolidating in a very, kind of wide or, loosey way over here, the dollar. And then let's talk about PNX, which is the 10-year yield. And it is right in the supply zone. So, get up to 4.3-ish. But then I'd like to see this roll over, or even sooner than the dollar, right? Kind of a bear flag, if we can call it that. Would like to see it get back down to this 3.12, somewhere around there. That would be really nice, right? Even if it just gets down to 3.3, that would be very, very good for equities and especially small mid caps. So that's kind of what I'm watching. Yeah, so that's what I got for you. I think everything's looking fine. I think we may get a shakeout. That's what, that's what I kind of gleaned from this today, that we're looking really good. And where are we at? SPY. There we go. Maybe we get a shakeout, maybe a retest of this 477, quick little move down, maybe to start the week. Again, it's a big earnings week, so it could happen, with some of these earnings. That's going to be a tough week. But then February, if everything works the way I want it to, right, which never really happens, but if it does, February could be really, really good. So, we'll see what happens, right? Anyway, if you're interested in my subscription group, please check me out at Alpha Charts 365. Hope you all are having a great week. Take care.